a period of months, they organized drives around the country and raised more than $330,000 to process swab kits. After months of searching, a close match for Ayelet was found, and she received a successful transplant. However, in January 2012, just a month after her second birthday, she tragically lost her battle due to complications. The bright light in this heartbreaking story is that Ayelet's Donor Circle continues to find bone marrow matches and facilitates transplants for other children and adults in need. So please welcome Ayelet's parents, Hindi and Seth Galina.
Wow, a night like tonight, surrounded by so many benefactors, givers, donors, and obviously the holiest of holy, the survivors. Many of us who do not know each other in this room, but share a common bond, a fire to fight, to work to give life a second chance, reminds us so much of our story, our fight for our daughter, little Ayelet. Just 1 year old when we were told she needed a transplant and our worlds changed. Ayelet was just so little, she could not talk, she could not walk, but somehow her spirit, her smile, her bravery inspired an outpouring of strangers and communities to step forward from around the world to take action, what we called Ayelet Nation, to help her fight for her life, to help give us hope, and sadly to hold us when she was gone. There's one special Ayelet fan who perhaps stepped up more than in most profound ways, Ayelet's donor, who's actually here tonight, and we met for the first time tonight at our table, Elaine Casper. Thank you. Found through the gift of life, and Ayelet lived for 150 days after the transplant, and every one of those days is because of Elad. Like Ayelet, there are no words to express our eternal gratitude. Ayelet lives on through the lives she continues to save, and through heroes like each and every one of us in this room, willing to fight and continue to inspire those around us.
Seth and I are here to introduce tonight's final pair because the donor you'll meet shortly was found during a drive that was held in search for Ayelet's match. While it might sound strange to some of you, while Ayelet ultimately lost her battle to her disease, Gift of Life has still in many ways given her the gift of life, because every time we get an email where it says Ayelet, found another match, it's almost like she's still with us. At the very least, her legacy is enduring with us every day. So we're eternally grateful for Gift of Life for giving her this eternity in so many ways. The recipient you're about to meet is one of those people who received a life-saving transplant thanks to all the drives that were run in search of Ayelet. So without further ado, please welcome Dena to the stage. In 2010, Dena went to the doctor because she'd been experiencing some swelling in her ankles. She felt completely healthy and full of energy and was quite shocked when she was eventually diagnosed with heavy chain amyloidosis, an extremely rare and serious disease. Dena underwent several months of chemotherapy, and then she had an autologous stem cell transplant using her own cells. The transplant seemed successful at first, but when her blood count started failing and she became dependent on receiving transfusions, her doctors at the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance suggested a bone marrow transplant using a donor. Fortunately for Dena, a search of the Gift of Life registry found several potential matches. The transplant took place at the University of Washington Medical Center. Dena was supported by her husband and her 4 siblings, especially her sister Carrie, who happens to be a cancer researcher at the world-renowned Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. Since the transplant, Dena has been paying it forward herself. For the past 2.5 years, she's been a patient advisor at the SCCA, and she's also joined the hospital's Patient Advisory Council. Dena, as I mentioned, your donor is not only your savior, but in many ways, our savior as well. It brings a level of meaning to everything that happens in this life that we often can't understand. When your donor got the call, he was overwhelmed with the opportunity, and there was actually no thought in his mind that there would be any answer other than yes. So tonight, it's now my opportunity to call onto the stage your donor, Ethan.
I had no idea. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to thank my parents for bringing me up in such a loving and caring home and instilling in me all the ideals and values of a Torah Jew. I also want to thank the yeshiva I attended in Israel, Reishi Yerushalayim, for hosting me, for hosting the donor recruitment drive that led to my becoming a match. I am especially thankful to the Gift of Life, such an incredible organization, for giving me the tremendous opportunity. Lastly, I thank God for giving me the privilege of becoming a donor and being a part of this life-saving process. Dena, when I see you, I think of my own mother, who is around your age and has a whole lot to live for. I would hope that if, God forbid, my mother had a life-threatening disease, that someone would step up to the plate to save her. For me, donating was not simply an interesting opportunity. It was an obligation to help another human being, someone who could have easily been my own family member, who desperately needed something only I could give. I feel blessed that we had the chance to meet tonight, and I wish you and your family a long life filled with health and happiness. Thank you all for supporting such a worthy organization.
Good evening. Thank you, Gift of Life, for inviting me to meet my amazing stem cell donor, and to all of you for supporting such a remarkable life-saving and life-changing organization. Because of Ethan, Gift of Life, and my transplant, I'm healthy and enjoying so many wonderful things life has to offer, including a special trip with our daughter several months ago and our son's graduation from the University of Washington Foster School of Business earlier this week. I feel so blessed. Ethan, wow, you are both a mensch and our hero. It's truly difficult to put to words how grateful I am for the gift of life you gave to me and my family. When my medical team first told me I would need a donor stem cell transplant, they hoped one of my 4 siblings could become my donor. All 4 eagerly agreed to be tested, and although none were a perfect match for me, the test showed we all were in fact siblings, so our lifelong teasing that one of us was the mailman's child was finally put to rest, much to the relief of our parents. We really did that. Fortunately, it took just 3 weeks to search for potential unrelated stem cell donors for me. I knew I'd be incredibly lucky to have even one possible match, but thanks to Gift of Life and their dedication to building the most robust registry possible, I had close to 600. Truly an astounding number, and this gave me so much hope. With 600 possible matches to choose from, my team quickly narrowed the search to 3 10 out of 10 HLA-matched male donors, all in their early 20s. One, see if you can guess who, was my same blood type and CMV negative, both of which are extra bonuses for stem cell transplants, and he fully committed to becoming my donor. So the major transplant hurdles were quickly out of the way. On the evening of my transplant, as we waited for the stem cells to arrive, my husband Steve and I played Guess the Donor. Steve won, as he somehow guessed my donor was a student at Yeshiva University in New York City. Looking back, I suppose this shouldn't have been too surprising, as he tends to have a sixth sense about such things. Ethan donated an incredible number of stem cells for me, and I received a little over 18 million of these. With a number which miraculously rounded to high, they were destined to work their magic, and they did. Everything went so well, in fact, when the transplant team returned to my room 7 hours after my transplant, they released me, and I was able to recover at home. 1 month following my transplant, Steve had another clairvoyant moment. We were late, leaving for the review of my first post-transplant bone marrow biopsy report. You know, the one that really tells you how things are going. So I was a little stressed. For some reason, Steve decided he needed to pick up our mail before we left and handed me an envelope from my clinic. Now, typically, these envelopes were bills, so I was not in any hurry to open it. But he convinced me and said, I think you're really going to want to open this one. I was so glad that I did. Inside was a beautiful letter from Ethan. He wrote this while he was donating his stem cells for me. What a touching and amazing surprise. The letter not only brought me to tears, it helped me truly appreciate even more how caring and thoughtful Ethan is, and he's a wonderful writer. Steve Willer wins the award for being the best husband and caregiver. He made me laugh every day while I recovered, was so encouraging and supportive, kept the house clean and me healthy. As I had no post-transplant infections or illnesses, I think we can all agree he really did great. And I loved seeing him wear those gloves every day. I'm extremely thankful to my family and friends who have been there for me during this unique journey. Their love, support, and positivity helped me immensely. A huge thank you also to my amazing medical team at Seattle Cancer Care Alliance and Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, who truly worked miracles for me. And a special shout out to my family members who are here tonight. My brother Mark, my sister and sister-in-law Terry, my sisters Carrie and Linda, our children Leah and William, and my husband Steve. Carrie, as you heard, truly has been our rock through all of this. Her 34 years as a researcher at Fred Hutch proved invaluable to us. Her knowledge and unending quest for the best care and treatments for me are also a large part of the reason I'm here today. I'm so grateful to Gift of Life, not only for what you did for me and my family, but for all the countless lives you have saved and will continue to save with generous supporters like all of you here tonight, so give big. Jay, happy 20th. And Ethan, again, from the bottom of our heart, thank you. You're our champion. Happy birthday tonight, and happy... and happy graduation. And Ayala, to Ayala and to you, thank you. I had no idea. This was a big surprise for me, and thank you. Because of you, all of this.
Thank you, Dena. Thank you, Ethan. Great name, by the way.